The Croatian Veterinary Institute Zagreb is an institution owned by the Republic of Croatia. It provides services of national interest, including diagnostics of infectious diseases in animals, veterinary public health, and research activities. It is one among 25 public institutions within the scope of the Croatian Ministry of Science. With its 250 employees and its budget, it is among the leading institutes in Croatia. It consists of the headquarters in Zagreb, the branches in Vinkovci, Križevci, Rijeka, Split, and the Center for Poultry Farming in Zagreb. The Croatian Veterinary Institute Zagreb was established in 1933 as an experimental veterinary station, and since then it has had the periods of great rises, unpredictable deadlocks, and unavoidable falls. Despite significant social and political events and changes since its establishing until today, its continuous development has not been interrupted, and the reasons for which it was established have not ceased. This year we are celebrating the 80th anniversary of its existence, a few weeks after we celebrated one of the most important events in the recent history of our country, Croatian accession to the European Union. The Croatian Veterinary Institute has entered our new European community with full equipment, with 29 accredited laboratories, with 175 methods, 125 employees, more than half of whom with a university degree, and a great number of young, educated, capable and motivated people, including 40 doctors of science. The Department of Veterinary Public Health comprises 5 laboratories conducting food tests for determining presence of pathogenic and potentially pathogenic microorganisms and their toxins, and determining microbiological safety of food intended for human consumption. Also, animal feeding mixtures and raw materials used in the production of animal feeds are tested. Control of residues includes determination of prohibited substances, veterinary medications and contaminants in food of animal origin, animal feed and biological liquids. Chemical analyses are being conducted to determine the quality and safety of animal feed and food of animal origin. Quality of veterinary medicinal products is controlled, and documents on veterinary medicinal products are evaluated for market authorization in Croatia. The laboratories use state-of-the-art methods and instruments. They take part in several monitoring programs in food control, including national residue monitoring, animal feed monitoring, and monitoring of inhibitory substances in milk as set out by the Ministry of Agriculture. The Department of Bacteriology and Parasitology conducts the diagnostics of a great number of bacterial diseases. The department consists of 5 laboratories conducting the isolation and identification of causes and serological diagnostics of bacterial diseases in animals. Its most significant services include the diagnostics of the most important bacterial zoonoses such as brucellosis, anthrax, tuberculosis, tularemia, leptospirosis, Q fever, and others. Diagnostics of other very significant bacterial diseases is also conducted, including atrophic rhinitis, salmonella infections, streptococci and staphylococci, pasteurellosis, coli bacillosis, listeriosis, erysipelas, isolation of methicillin-resistant strains of Staphylococcus aureus, and other significant bacterial infections of animals, as well as fungal infections, including dermatophytes. Laboratory and field diagnostics of mastitis under the other health care program by determination of the number of somatic cells and total number of microorganisms in raw milk, and testing the sensitivity of mastitis agents to antimicrobial medications are also conducted. Sensitivity of isolated bacterial agents to antimicrobial medications is regularly determined by disc diffusion methods. Routine diagnostics of all significant parasitic diseases in domestic animals and wild game, pets, laboratory animals and poultry is also conducted. In determination of development stages of parasites, standard parasitological, molecular and serological methods are used. The Laboratory for Culture Media Preparation and Sterilization is engaged in the preparation of culture media for the accredited bacteriological laboratories and their sterilization, as well as sterilization of accessories and vessels for multiple use in autoclaves and dry sterilizers. The laboratory is capable of producing some 120 various types of finished culture media for the growth of microorganisms. Department of Virology comprises 3 laboratories where diagnostics of viral infections in animals is conducted by application of various microbiological methods. One of its most significant activities is diagnostics of classical and African swine fever and conducting program of control and supervision of such diseases in domestic swine and wild boar. Etiological diagnostics of rabies is also conducted, as well as serological testing of blood of dogs and cats on presence of specific antibodies for rabies. Serological, etiological and molecular diagnostics of various other viral diseases is conducted. Serological diagnostics of viral diseases is most frequently conducted by enzyme immunoassays, both by detection of specific antibodies as well as by detection of virus glycoprotein, but also by other methods including virus neutralization test, rapid fluorescent focus inhibition test on cell culture, etc. A significant activity of the laboratory is also production and storage of various line cell cultures, primarily for isolation and multiplication of various field and reference strains of viruses, as well as for conducting virus neutralization tests. For the needs of routine diagnostics, the department has optimized and validated various methods for diagnostics of other viral diseases such as circovirus infections in swine, pestivirus infections, porcine reproductive and respiratory syndrome, Oyesky's disease, infectious bovine rhinotracheitis virus, enzootic bovine leukosis virus, and hepatitis E virus. For better control and supervision of viral contaminants in food, molecular methods have also been optimized for detection of norovirus, astrovirus, enterovirus, and cobovirus. Department of Pathological Morphology comprises 3 laboratories. Its activities include pathological, anatomical, and histopathological diagnostics for determination of diseases and causes of death in domestic animals and wild game. For diagnostics of the most significant viral and some bacterial diseases in swine, state-of-the-art molecular diagnostic methods of immunohistochemistry and hybridization in situ are used. Laboratory for Ruminant Pathology and Transmissive Spongiform Encephalopathies is engaged in morphological diagnostics of pathological processes in domestic and wild ruminants and rapid diagnostics of transmissive spongiform encephalopathies. Field diagnostic procedures very often include clinical inspection of a herd and evaluation of feeding principles as important factors in the diagnostic procedures. Where required, pathoanatomical diagnostics is completed with a histopathological test. The main activity of the laboratory is bovine brain tissue sample testing on TSC in cattle older than 30 months taken for regular slaughtering, and brain sampling of all dead cattle of age exceeding 24 months, but also of sheep and goat brain tissue samples on crepie. Laboratory for Fish Pathology conducts the diagnosis of disease in farmed and free-ranging aquatic animals. The diagnostics is based on application of morphological, cytological, and microbiological methods. Determination of health status of fish and shellfish, farm and wild ranging, is aimed to establish diagnosis of parasitic, viral and bacterial diseases and provide recommendations for the treatment and measures for disease control. General Department keeps records on all employees of the Institute and is in charge of all employment issues. A significant part of its activities is related to accounting and legal services of wide spectrum. The department is also in charge of implementation of the Public Procurement Act, including preparation and implementation of public procurement procedures. IT Office is always well up in the information technology trends and their possible application. It is in charge of servicing and maintenance of information and telecommunication systems. Office for Sample Receipt and Control is a segment of the General Department and is indispensable for the operating of the Institute. Each sample received at this office is recorded and forwarded to the appropriate laboratory. Veterinary Institute Vinkovci was established in 1947. Its activities are conducted in 5 counties of Slavonia. The institute comprises 4 laboratories: Diagnostics Laboratory, Laboratory for Food and Feed Microbiology, Laboratory for Analytical Chemistry and Residues, Laboratory for Sterilization and Preparation of Culture Media, and General Unit. All laboratories of the Veterinary Institute Vinkovci are accredited according to Standard 17025. Total of 23 methods have been accredited, and inter-laboratory proficiency tests are conducted on regular basis with regards to other methods. The institute has 29 employees, including 6 doctors of veterinary medicine and 5 graduate engineers of food technology. 3 employees have acquired their PhDs, 1 of them is a senior research associate, and 3 employees have enrolled their doctoral studies. In 2005, the refurbishing of the institute started, and in 2012, all the laboratories and administrative premises of the institute were refurbished. The roof and the facade were refurbished, and the state-of-the-art laboratory equipment was purchased. Veterinary Institute Križevci was established in 1901 by decision of the Austro-Hungarian Royal Provincial Government in Zagreb as the first veterinary bacteriological institute in the southeastern Europe. At the beginning, the institute operated within the Royal Farming and Forestry College established in Križevci in 1860. In addition to diagnostic services, the institute took part in teaching activities of the college for the needs of veterinary services of the time. In addition to diagnostics of animal diseases, it was also engaged in the production of vaccines, serums, and diagnostic procedures. The institute comprises the Laboratory for Diagnostics, Laboratory for Food and Feed Microbiology, Laboratory for Analytical Chemistry and Residues, and Laboratory for Sterilization and Culture Media. The laboratories are accredited according to standard HRN EN-ISO 17025. There are 14 accredited methods with 25 parameters. In the recent years, the laboratories and the administrative premises of the institute have been modernized and equipped with modern laboratory equipment. The institute in Križevci conducts its activities in the Croatian counties with the most developed cattle breeding in the surroundings of major meat processing industries and animal feed factories. The institute employs 25 people, 8 doctors of veterinary medicine, of whom 2 have been awarded their doctoral degree and 3 have acquired Masters of Science degree, 2 chemical engineers, 10 technical associates, 1 laboratory technician, 1 cleaner, 2 administrative clerks, and an accounting manager. Veterinary Institute Rijeka was established in 1947 as veterinary diagnostic station. It comprises 4 laboratories. The institute employs 20 people, including 5 doctors of veterinary medicine. 1 of them has been awarded doctoral degree and 2 have earned Masters of Science degree. The institute also employs 3 graduate engineers, 8 technicians, 2 administrative clerks, and 2 cleaners. Since 2005, the employees of the institute have been actively participating in the preparations for the accreditation and introduction of quality system, resulting in the first certificate of laboratory accreditation in 2008. Since 2008, the gradual refurbishing of the institute started, and since 2011, works on the adaptation were done, and annex to the building of the Veterinary Institute Rijeka was built. New laboratory furniture was purchased as well as the new laboratory equipment. The works were completed in the early 2012. In the recent years, the Veterinary Institute Rijeka reached its objectives, including the adaptation of its premises, purchasing of the new equipment and laboratory furniture, accreditation of the laboratories, and obtaining the status of official laboratories from the Ministry of Agriculture. Veterinary Institute Split was established in 1933 as Veterinary Department of the Hygiene Institute Split. In 1952, the institute moved to the building built for that purpose at 33 Poljička Cesta Split as the Veterinary Diagnostic Station. The Veterinary Institute Split is still at the same address and now is situated in a modernly equipped, refurbished and thoroughly reconstructed building. The works on the reconstruction of the building of the Institute were completed in the course of 2011 and 2012. The Veterinary Institute split currently employs 24 people, including 8 doctors of veterinary medicine and 3 chemical and biotechnology engineers. 3 employees have gained their doctoral degrees, one of them is a senior research associate, and 2 are Master of Science degree holders. The Institute's activities are organized in 5 laboratories: Diagnostics Laboratory, Laboratory for Food and Feed Microbiology, Laboratory for Analytical Chemistry and Residues, Laboratory for Culture Media Preparation and Sterilization, and General Unit. The Veterinary Institute split participated in several regional EU projects as well as in a project sponsored by the Italian Ministry of Health. Its outstanding success is manifested in its appointment as a reference center for blue tongue disease and microbiological pollution of shellfish. Center for Poultry Farming was established in 1961 within the framework of the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine of the University of Zagreb. The main reason for its establishing was the beginning of development of poultry industry in Croatia that needed a specialized institution as its upgrade. In the course of time, the center gradually became distinguished as a research center and as a laboratory. As opposed to other diagnostic and analytical laboratories, the Center for Poultry Farming also plays the role of a consultant in the Croatian poultry farming and in that way maintains close contacts with poultry industry. This relation is reflected in the organization of a traditional biannual scientific and professional symposium Poultry Days. Since 1993, the Center for Poultry Farming has gained autonomy from the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, and since then it has been functioning as a branch of the Croatian Veterinary Institute. The Center for Poultry Farming employs 24 people, 12 of them with a university degree. There are 7 Doctors of Science and 2 Master of Science degree holders. The laboratories of the center include Laboratory for Animal Feed Analysis, Laboratory for Bacteriology, Laboratory for Pathology, Laboratory for Virology and Serology, and General Unit. The laboratories are accredited according to standard HRN-EN ESO IEC 17025. At this moment, the Croatian Veterinary Institute Zagreb with its branches is the crucial institution in the diagnostics of infectious diseases in veterinary public health in the Republic of Croatia. By its organization, its infrastructure, equipment of its laboratories and its educated staff, it stands side by side with any European institution of the kind.